Welcome everybody to the next episode of the Cannabis Review. I'm delighted to be joined in this episode by fellow Irishman Mark Jenkins, who's the founder of Releaf Dispensaries down in Waterford and Tipperary. How are you keeping today, Mark?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for
Great to have
having me
you on, mate. Thanks for coming on the show. I know something that you're in the middle of has huge implications for the cannabis industry. I thought it'd be best to get you on and get the story from the horse's mouth, as it were. I'm going to basically jump straight in to the first topic, which is the overview of your Relief case that's going on at the moment. I'm basically just going to summarize it up for everybody, and then I'm going to ask you one or two questions to make sure that we've got the exact information based on this. So from my understanding and reading is that you had 3 cases that were brought against you, separate incidents where you were caught with CBD products. One of them has been tested and proved to have under 0.2%. 2 of them are still independent results pending, but the judge, when you brought to court, said, we're going to pause these 3 personal cases because he has a bigger case that's coming to the High Court that's going to basically challenge the 1977 Drug Act and the cannabis laws, or the drug laws in Ireland. Is all that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry.
So basically, what I want to kind of ask you is, your recent cases were against the DPP and not against the DOH. So the main case that you're bringing that will be challenging the drug laws, and especially the 1977 Act, is that against the DOH, or is that still against the DPP as well?
It's still against the DPP, but like that, it's the Department of Health that are kind of holding the cards for everyone, basically. Like, it's unsafe for humans is what they're kind of going on with the Misuse of Drugs Act. So I would think there's more trials coming up in July that would be against the DPP, which would be against the Department of Health, which I would say would kind of dictate a lot of it too as for this industry.
Okay, yeah, because basically the way, if you look at it sensibly, the Department of Health have to tell the DPP that something is now safe to be used, and the DPP pass it down to the guards then. So that's kind of the stream of information and knowledge that's happening at the moment. So based on the case that you had recently, what exactly did the judge say? Did she literally just go, right, time out in these 3 cases, let's wait until the bigger case has been brought to the High Court? Or was there any nuanced opinion that the judge might have said, here, guys, what are you doing wasting the court's time with this kind of stuff?
It was like she told him to kind of think logically, lads, with the rest of these, because I've 7 other cases to come up as well, that she was kind of saying, like, think logically before you even bring charges against. And same with the district court judge, because the district court judge in Clonmel and in Dungarvan was both the same judge, and he was seeing me coming up every second week in one or the 2, and he even said, lads, you need some joint up thinking here. You can't keep coming into this man's house and bringing these cases against him into my court when there seems to be something going on here. And again, the judge above in Dublin said the same thing.
Okay, and so
she kind of more or less, like, the state had no evidence what they were going on. She said, you haven't given me any evidence here today to say either way for the case.
Yeah, so when I understand as well, especially with the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, she's based in Dublin in the court cases that are happening there. But the individual counties, then they employ and contract legal companies or legal firms to represent the DPP in court in each individual county. So realistically, the guy who was prosecuting you had very little to no clue about this industry whatsoever, and was following basically whatever the blueprint and the template that had been enacted up in Dublin at that time.
Well, like that, the Attorney General would have been part of that. The Attorney General wanted to remain neutral on it, which the judge asked to it to be confirmed, which they did come back, and which he thought was very strange that the Attorney General wants to remain neutral in this case.
Yeah, if they're not trying to push the whole thing down, you want to be questioning something. I'm going to jump on to the next thing, and it's the 1977 Drug Act. So the drug laws in Ireland, as we know, are pretty archaic. The 1977 Drug Act, can you maybe give everybody a quick overview of how that impacts the freedom of movement with the European agreement that we've already got in place, and how likely are we to be able to have that Drug Act altered or taken off completely?
So the Drug Act is holding us because the Irish Drug Act means 0% THC, anything cannabis related in their eyes, like even down to the hemp farmers. They can't market the product. So anything cannabis related is kind of held under the Misuse of Drugs Act, regardless of THC percentage or not. And that's kind of what we're arguing on with the European freedom of movement, of trading goods. It's kind of what's holding us, and that's again the Department of Health is what's holding any of that for the farmers or for the shops.
Okay, so it's basically what seems to need to happen is that we need to have validation and studies completed in this country first and foremost for the DOH to be able to say, okay, this isn't exactly what we were saying that it was. Do you know of any of these tests that are currently going on at the moment, or are they literally just sticking to this act and there's been no advancement from the government side of things in terms of research and development?
As far as I know, there's not. Like, they are trying with the hemp, but it's more our side. Like, it's not the states kind of coming to us asking us for info. It's more we're pushing on them.
Yeah, well, I think in fairness, as much as we're all in one, we know so much about this industry. I think like 99.9% of politicians have literally zero clue about even the smallest bit of information when it comes to cannabis. Even some articles I was reading based on your cases, the media publication were saying that THC is the main constituent in cannabis, which we all know is completely incorrect statement. But as I said, I think it's our job as an industry to help educate and to bring these matters to the front so people can understand exactly what it is that we're all debating over, that it's not a case of this isn't a random challenge that we're trying to make. It's actually a valid and a business oriented one.
Yeah, 100%. Education is key in this. Like, people still have the stigma that it's a drug and you're going around high off your head. Like, we even have with the coffee shop, people coming in, you ask them, do you want a CBD or a regular coffee? Oh, no, Junior, you'll have me asleep on the ground. It doesn't work that way. And then, like that, we educate them inside, or we tell them the difference. And right, I'll come back, I'll have the CBD the next day. And then they start drinking the CBD coffee because they know it doesn't make a difference, but in the taste. So, see, can they get the benefits from it?
Yeah, and I think another part of this stream is medical professionals being educated as well, and that's a whole other conversation I think that needs to be had. That people listening to somebody in a store doesn't have the same weight as a doctor, maybe giving some advice saying, "Yeah, this is part of your now weekly diet that you should be having."
We'd be very restricted in what we could say. Like, we know it could help you do this or it could help you. Well, we can't say it because of regulation. Again, we're not allowed to make any claims. But there's a lot of restrictions in this industry, and I think a lot of them kind of need to be sorted out now. Even this novel food seems to be very higgledy-piggledy at the minute now again.
Yeah, well, that's the next thing I wanted to jump on, because I know you've got a food background and it's something I'm sure you've been keeping up to date with because you've got a number of products in this space. So again, for everybody, the novel food application that's currently going on at the moment is happening in the UK only. The UK were part of the European Union when they started this whole process. So they took the novel food application that the EU generally use. They've just moved it further along since Brexit because they've had no red tape to get through. Where do you see the EU novel food application lying at the moment?
I would think they'd nearly follow suit now with the UK.
And do you think they're going to tick them all off? Okay, you got it in the UK, come over here and apply, and we're just going to give it straight to you?
I would hope so. It's like that. A lot of products I would have the novel food, so I would hope that it will just transition over from the UK over to Europe or wherever, America.
Okay, yeah, well, Brexit might have altered that to a tiny degree, but let's fingers crossed that the companies that do go through the process over in the UK don't have to reapply and go through another 2-year waiting process for the European Union.
Most of them would have businesses outside of Europe now, that Brexit would have kind of pushed all them to kind of move to other European countries.
Okay, I get you. And who do you see is, like, across Europe, where do you see the territories that people are able to access the products the best, or the most superior products as a buyer yourself for your stores? Where are you looking at going? Is it Holland? Is it Switzerland? Is it Denmark? Is it Malta? Germany?
Like that, Switzerland, it kind of opened up a can of worms for us with the court cases. Like, that was one thing that we were questioned on, because Europe, and is it Europe, isn't it Europe? The the transactions, what way it came into Europe kind of comes into account. So I try to stay away from that now, and kind of more so Italy and Spain.
Okay, Italy and Spain. And do you see, in terms of the CBD flower market, that you guys been selling CBD flower like some of the other dispensaries, or have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have. And do you see the quality of that flower getting better year on year? Is there one dominant cultivator that you see in Europe, or do you see this over the next 5 years? This, once we get this approved, that this will become a massive industry, and you'll start to see different cultivars with their own genetics and their own flavors.
Like that, it's getting better year on year because more people are coming into the industry. Like that, people are seeing that they would have been good growers before, and now they're kind of really gone into industrial production of it now. But it's kind of twixing between Italy and Spain at the minute. I would move from different suppliers. Like that, people like different flavors, so you kind of, one supplier kind of might only stay to the same strains the whole time. So it's nice to kind of move around.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the great things about the cannabis industry is the selection and the choice of product that you can actually get your hands on is one of the things. Everybody loves a new flavor or a new special every week.
Yeah, and like that, every farmer has a different, like, White Widow from one guy is totally different from the next guy. It's down to the growers.
Yeah, I think those cultivators are going to become the kind of hot property in the European cannabis industry, whether it's medical, CBD flower, or recreational cannabis over the next 10 to 15 years. Those people with that expertise will be the operators of choice.
We hope
Yeah.
it comes soon.
Tell me this: do you see anybody in Europe that you guys are looking to emulate? Do you see any good dispensaries, or do you look to North America as, like, let's say, the Cookies or some of the other brands, Trulieve and these guys that have opened up chains of dispensaries? That, like, there is a bit of a template out there already. Are you trying to follow the North America, the European template? Are you just trying to start your own template for Ireland?
Kind of, yeah. Like that, we have a few things kind of going on between here and the UK. So, yeah.
Happy days. Well, it's been great chatting to you, mate. For anybody who wants to know more, the website is cbdrelief.ie. Hopefully, we're going to be able to catch up again, Mark, in the future, and we've got some good news on the big court case. And as I said, we know a couple of the other companies that are doing cases as well. So hopefully by the end of 2022, the whole industry has got a bit more clarity and a bit more direction, and everybody can kick on with their entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh, I would hope it's finished by the end of next month, end of July, 27th of July.
Okay, happy days. Give us information. What's 27th of July for everybody? What do they need to know about that?
So the first one in for judicial review is on the 27th of July. That's a store in Coot Hill.
Oh, so this
is the D Hem shop.
Oh,
so they have a case for judicial review against the Department of Health. They have brought a civil case, not a criminal. So they have had no charges brought against them.
Okay.
And then there's another case on the 14th of July, which is another company in Dublin for importation of oils. So they're both taking on civil cases against the Department of Health.
And what's the name of that import company?
Oh, it's not easy to find. I'm not sure. Is it Finest Aragon or I'm not 100% sure. The name is there online.
So basically, the D Hem store, that's the one challenging the 1977 Act, and that there'll be a good bit of clarity based on the end of that case.
Yeah. I would think that the Department of Health hold the cards for everybody, for the farmers, for the CBD stores. So I would hope we get some bit of good clarification from that. And then from my case alone, with the two of them together, I think whoever goes into court next
will have a very strong challenge. Well, we'll be keeping up to date with everything here on the Cannabis Review, and I'll be touching back with you very soon to maybe get your thoughts on the case that happens on the 27th of July. But for now, mate, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and you have a great week.
Thank you. Speak to you again.
Bye-bye. See you again next, guys.